Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the Suzuki 650 XT. Is it the best adventure bike you can buy for under £9,000? I've got a sneaky feeling it's going to be pretty good. I've never ridden a V-Strom. Starting with the 650 XT, let's see how she rides. The XT version is £8,699, and yeah, I think it looks really cool in black with these panniers and top case all in black as well. It looks like a really premium bike. I turned up here, we're at Blade Motorcycles today in Swindon. Big shout out to them, thank you very much for lending me this bike, letting me ride it. As you can see, they've got loads here guys, so come on down. They've got demos of any sorts of bike you want to ride. Really good place, so thank you Blade. Really interested to ride this V-Strom. I have never ridden a Suzuki V-Strom before, but I've heard lots of good things. Turn the camera around so you can see me. Yeah, so starting off with the 650, and there's also the 1050 V-Strom as well, but this is the 650. Oh, it's got a nice purr to the exhaust. Yeah, that's nice. So it's a V-twin, and I believe it's a 645cc V-twin to be exact. Dash here, fairly simple, pretty old school looking actually. Nothing bad about it, to be honest. I quite like an analog rev counter, so that's actually a bonus in my book. Knock her in the first cog, off we go. So I think this is going to be actually a really practical, useful review, if I may say so myself. It's under £9,000, well, 8,699 for the XT version, which is top spec, as you can see, the panniers on the back, etc. It's a lot of bike you're getting for the money there. In person, it looks proper premium. I got to admit, I'm a bit of a sucker for adventure bikes that are fully specced out with like the panniers on, engine bars, the fog lights and everything. This hasn't got the engine bars or the fog lights. You can spec those. This is really up there, looks-wise, personally, with some of the top adventure bikes. I seriously mean that. So you can get the standard 650 V-Strom, which is actually 7,000. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll pop it on the screen, but really good value. What's she like straight off the bat? So straight off the bat, that engine is actually, it's quite a short bite in the clutch there, but you could change that, just adjust the clutch lever. Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, and so initially the engine is very smooth, a lot smoother than I was expecting. Being a V-twin, I was expecting it to be a little bit clattery, but in all honesty, it does feel very smooth and really premium actually. It's a really smooth, comfortable ride so far. So saying the dash is quite old school, which it is quite old school, it's actually very clear. You've just got your speed on the right here, and then your gear indicator on the left. Below you've got your trip, your time, range of fuel, which is handy, and your air temperature. So it's actually quite well laid out. It's really basic, nice and simple that. So this bike also comes with the bar end weights for balancing, and obviously we got these big panniers on the back, so if you want to go touring, there's plenty of room to pack all your gear on the bike. Feels a lot more premium and a lot more substantial motorbike than the price suggests, and the CC suggests as well, to be honest, so far. We'll catch up with you in a bit. Let's go for a bit more of a ride. I'll let you know what I think of her. Is a sort of adventure bike come touring bike. What's she like on the faster roads? It may be something you may worry about because it's a 650 engine, whereas most big adventure bikes now are sort of, you know, they're over 1,000 cc's, but we're going 65 miles an hour in 6th gear, so you have a 6th gear. It's very comfortable. No problems with top end speed. I'll just roll on. Yeah, and there's loads more there to take you well above legal speed limits, so it's not a problem for cruising. Screen, it is adjustable. It's got 3 different heights. It's in its highest at the moment. It's relatively low compared to your bigger adventure bikes, but Actually, I'm feeling quite comfortable here, getting a little bit of wind to the top of my helmet, but nothing bad whatsoever. So it's not adjustable on the move, I should say, the screen. You'd have to stop, get off, get your spanner out and change the settings like that. Maybe one downfall, but to be honest, I would just leave it in its highest setting like this. The wind protection is really nice. I'm not getting any vibes whatsoever through the handlebars or the foot pegs at 65 miles an hour here. Very comfortable. No cruise control, I'm afraid. Yeah, I do like cruise control, but for at the price point below £9,000, I could very happily tour on this motorcycle for a long time, many miles. So yeah, really good on faster roads. What's she like after I've ridden her for a while now on sort of country roads, back lanes, etc. The type of roads you'd sort of be riding on an adventure. So the engine, it's got 70 horsepower and 62 newton meters of torque, which is nothing compared to the big adventure bikes nowadays, you know, putting out plus 150 brake horsepower, which are just silly figures, really. So the main standout thing I'm noticing from this is the motor. I'm having an absolutely, for want of a better term, glorious time riding this. The motor's really smooth and really tractable. Like, for going, if you just like riding a motorbike and going exploring, love the feeling of being on a motorbike, you're not riding fast, you don't want the most powerful bike, you just want to go touring or on adventures and enjoy your bike and have a relaxing ride. I'm getting into it already. You really can't ask for more than this, honestly. The engine's really nice, smooth V-twin. Suzuki have done a great job. On top of that, whilst we're stuck behind this trailer with the quad in, some sort of contraption on the back, it's got a 20-litre fuel tank, which is plenty in my opinion, but the thing that makes it plenty, and this is quite a relevant point nowadays, especially with fuel prices just being so high, and for the environment as well, this manages 68 mpg, and it genuinely does. I've heard it a lot. It's 68 mpg from this engine, so if you're going on tours, adventures, etc., absolutely brilliant. I mean, that's really good fuel efficiency. On top of that, it weighs 216 kilograms. So if you are a bit intimidated by the size of these massive adventure bikes nowadays, and they can get big, it's a very nice prospect, this. I'm not intimidated by this at all, even with the panniers on. To be honest, I completely forgot they were there. Yeah, they haven't got anything in, so if they were full up, it would be a bit more weighty, but it actually feels fairly light, this. Very easy to ride and very unintimidating. I've stopped at a few lay-bys, gravel tracks, etc. It's easy to get on and off. You don't really have any problems with worrying about the weight, which you do on bigger adventure bikes. You definitely do. Okay guys, so just before we stop somewhere and have a little walk around of the bike, we'll show you a bit closer up, a few more of the specs, etc. Show you inside those panniers as well. Huge panniers, really practical. And what's the switchgear like? Pretty simple. You've got your mode buttons here. As far as I can tell, actually, I should have found this out before, apologies, but as far as I can tell, it's just one riding mode, which is not a problem at all. Really want much less power, but there's plenty to have fun with. So you have your mode, you can switch between your sort of your trip, your fuel range, etc. with these arrows here, and then you've got a select button. As per usual, on the back of the rear of the left handlebar, you have your light, passing light, high beam, low beam, indicator and horn on the left, nice sounding horn. On the right, kill switch, electric start and your indicator. And that's everything. For this price point, that's pretty much to be expected. It's quite refreshing, really. A nice sort of old school. I can't see why we would really need anything more than that. It's so comfortable, this machine. I'm just cruising along, not encouraging me to ride fast, just pretty much just enjoying the scenery and loving the smooth ride. And a lot of that is down to the 650 engine, actually. Right, let's find a scenic place to stop and have another little chat over the bike and details, etc. about what I think of it. So I'm just coming down a really small, pretty tame gravel track here. Don't want to do anything too too extreme on a bike that's not mine, but it just goes to show, obviously this bike is, the V-Strom's primarily built for road riding and touring, etc., but you can take this bike down little gravel tracks, and I could be pushing it a lot harder than I am now. It just shows it's possible. If you're off on a tour, you can shoot down those little gravel tracks and go exploring. I mean, especially with this 650 model, it's so light, it's so unintimidating. I still feel like I'm on a substantial bike that's capable of big tours, etc., but it's just not too big. It is a nice balance, I'm being honest there. It's a nice concept. Try and find a place, nice scenic spot to talk some more details. The V-Strom 650 XT and the 650 standard as well. The best adventure bike under 9,000 British pounds. I'm gonna say, yeah, I've got to be up there with one of the best, if not the best. Even compared to the big adventure bikes, the big competition. This has got a place there. It's definitely got a place there. It's not got the amount of tech that the larger bikes have, like the GS, the 1200, the Ducati Multistrada V4S, etc. But in all honesty, riding this today, all of today, I haven't missed any of that technology at all, bar the cruise control on the dual carriageway. The standout piece is the motor. I'm really impressed with the engine. There's plenty of torque, all in the rev range. I keep on catching myself in fourth, sometimes fifth gear, going 30 miles an hour, not even noticing. No grumbles or no upsets from the engine at all. So yeah, it's a really smooth, quality motor. So another thing I really like about it is it's genuine big adventure styling, looks wise. I wouldn't look at this bike if I didn't know what it was and think, oh, it's a 650, it's a sort of, it's a smaller one, it's not really the big boy proper bike. On the road, it looks brilliant with the large panniers on the back and the top case. It really looks like it's ready to go for an adventure, and it looks like a mature, proper big boy, for want of a better term, motorcycle. Now on the XT, this is spec'd with the 3-piece alloy kit, it's called, from Suzuki. So you get the 2 panniers, the top case, and you get the bar end weights as well, weighted weights on the end of the bars, which actually feel very nice on the road, help with the handling a bit. I would spec that. It costs £1,590 for the 3-piece alloy pack for this bike, but I would 100% spec that. It looks really good, and yeah, like I say, the panniers are fantastic. So guys, up front you have a 19-inch front wheel, and on the rear you've got a 17-inch. So there is a slight nod towards off-roading with the 19-inch front, given this is a sort of sport adventure bike. Of course, it's got the cast alloy wheels, so you don't get spoked wheels with this V-Strom model, but yeah, fine on gravel tracks like we're on at the moment. So for the brakes, guys, they're not complete top spec 4-piston Brembos. You've got 2 310 dual discs up front with 2-piston Tokiko, I think that's how you pronounce it, calipers up front. But yeah, the brakes, they're not really sharp, but they're completely adequate for a motorcycle like this. There's plenty of stopping power. And all you need, really. So for the rear brakes, you have a single 260mm disc with a single piston caliper as well. So I know I keep on going on about the panniers, but they are really nice. They're real good quality for this specification and price of bike, really, for the 650, not the top model there. Nice. Well, actually, I think that's plastic. Yeah, that's plastic actually. I thought they were alloy, but even so, they're still good quality. You get your keys, so it's not keyless ignition, key for the ignition, but then you have a separate key for each pannier. Just show you unlocking. The latch on it is nice alloy. Just a twist of the key, simple latch, really easy to operate. Lift up. Whew, it's hot today, sweating a bit, but then you get your standard top case there. Close him up, and then to detach the pannier, there's a separate latch on the bottom here. Same, I'm not going to do it, but twist the key, just a little latch, lift it up, take it off. It's as simple as that. And the same with the side panniers as well. Yes, it's a very, very good system with the panniers. So onto the suspension. The suspension is completely non-adjustable. Bar the rear suspension, you can adjust the preload, so if you have pillion on the back and you're loaded up fully luggage, then you can adjust that to make it more of a comfortable ride. But quite honestly, for me, I'm 5'9", I weigh about just under 11 stone. I wouldn't be fiddling with the suspension at all, even if you could adjust it. I wouldn't need to. Perhaps, yeah, okay, if you had a pillion, you were full of luggage on the back, then you'd want to adjust that rear preload, but there's a little toggle here just to adjust the preload there, so it's fairly simple. But like I say, the front suspension, it's really nice setup, nicely damped for comfortable road riding and for doing some really long miles on. So guys, onto the seat height. It's 835 millimeters. I'm 5'9", like I said. I've got a 32-inch inseam, leg inseam. So hopefully you can see just how I am there. I can actually quite comfortably flat foot it, which is yeah, very nice. When you start to get onto the bigger adventure bikes, the Africa Twin, etc., that seat really starts rising up to closer to 900 in some instances, which when you got the panniers on, or you're even on a gravel track like this, if you find yourself just off balance, you can, or I am at this height, I'm right on my tippy toes, so if you just lean over a little far, you can be susceptible to losing the bike quite easily, whereas this is actually, it's very easy to handle, which is a great benefit of potentially considering the 650 smaller version of the V-Strom.
So what's the performance like on the 650 on road? Well, like I've been saying, the engine is sweet as. It's so smooth. I'm really impressed with the motor. Don't be fooled by the thinking this is not fast enough. It feels like there's a fair bit amount more of torque than a 650 would suggest. It doesn't feel like a 650. Like I was saying earlier, you have it in sort of 5th or even 6th gear at low speeds and you can just roll on. 4th gear is very long legged. So yeah, I mean, you're properly moving on this thing. It's by no means a low powered bike. I really don't think I know people say it a lot in reviews, but I really don't think you'd be lacking power on this bike. Okay, if you're above 15 stone and 6'5", you may want a bit more for long touring, but anything below that, there's a lovely linear torque range from the engine. Overall, really surprised. The handling is good. It's really nice for the road. The whole riding position, the suspension and the handling setup, it's just so comfortable. I could honestly ride this thing all day. And with a 19-inch, thank God it's not a 21-inch. I would say this bike handles more like a sports tourer than, you know, your traditional adventure bike. It's definitely more on-road focused, which just makes it so nice coming into the corner. And with these bar ends, the weights on the end of the bars here, it tips in. Really confidence inspiring and smooth round the corners. No worries as whether it's gonna handle the corner or not. So overall, guys, I must admit I wasn't a massive fan of the V-Stroms. I've never ridden them, I've never been that keen on it, but Blade Motorcycles offered me a ride on this 650. Really very nice bike this for long distance touring or just an all-rounder. Very impressed. I like to pencil a ride in on the 1050 next. I bet that'll be nice as well, but this 650 is a bit of a peach. I would give it a go. Is it the best adventure bike under £9,000? I think I'm going to say, so far as everything I've ridden, I think it is. Very much worth the money. You're getting a great bike at a great price here. Don't look past the V-Strom. Thank you very much for watching. I shall see you in the next one. If you like the vid, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And then next up, we'll hopefully try and get the 1050 V-Strom very soon. Cool. Have a great day. Stay happy. Ciao, Bella.
Thought we were finishing there.
I thought this may be useful just to give more of a balanced review, because I feel like I've just been raving about the bike there, which I do really like it. Just to give a balanced review, everything's got a negative, but this, I would say,
it's not the most exciting motorcycle around. If you're looking for a fast, extremely characterful,
fun, unique bike, I would say this is probably not it. This is just a fantastic all-rounder, great at its job, comfortable machine. Thought I'd put that in there. It's maybe not the most exciting motorcycle on the market.